You have been sold a plan. Work hard, earn more, get promoted, save carefully, retire comfortably. The plan sounds reasonable. The math behind it does not. Here's what the people who designed the salary economy would prefer you never stopped to calculate. The taxation problem. Every dollar you earn from a job is the most expensive dollar you can earn in the modern tax code. A salary attracts federal income tax, state income tax where applicable, Social Security contributions, and Medicare taxes before you receive a single cent of it. For a worker earning $80,000 a year, the effective combined tax burden can approach 30%. That means $24,000 of their $80,000 goes to the government before they decide how to spend or save the rest. Now consider what happens to a dollar earned from an investment held for more than a year. Long-term capital gains tax for that same worker, 15%. No Social Security, no Medicare, no payroll deductions of any kind. The tax code taxes income from work nearly twice as aggressively as income from assets. This is not a coincidence or an oversight. It is a structural decision that was made, debated, and maintained across decades of legislation by people whose wealth came primarily from assets rather than salaries. Every raise you receive is taxed at your marginal rate, meaning the last dollar of income is taxed at the highest rate you pay. A $10,000 raise at the 32% marginal bracket becomes $6,800 after federal tax alone. The salary treadmill moves faster than it appears. The compounding gap. Here is the mathematical reality that nobody presents clearly enough. A salary grows linearly. You negotiate a raise, or you get promoted, or the cost of living adjustment comes through. Perhaps 3 to 5% per year if you are performing well. That is linear growth. The same percentage applied to roughly the same base. Assets grow exponentially. An investment returning 8% annually does not add the same dollar amount each year. It adds 8% of an ever-growing base. The first year of an $100,000 investment generates $8,000. The 10th year generates approximately $17,000 on the same initial investment, doing nothing except existing and compounding. Over 30 years, that $100,000 becomes $1,006,000 without a single additional contribution. The salary you earned over that same 30 years was received, taxed, spent on living, and is now gone. The gap between salary growth and compounding asset growth does not close over time. It widens, and the further you are from asset ownership, the wider that gap becomes. The 40-40-40 trap. The retirement plan that most workers follow without fully examining it goes like this. Work 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire on approximately 40% of what you couldn't comfortably live on in the first place. Social Security replaces roughly 40% of pre-retirement income for average earners. Median household income in the United States is approximately $74,000. 40% of that is $29,600 per year in retirement income. After 40 years of full-time work. Meanwhile, inflation, running at 3% annually in normal conditions, cuts the purchasing power of money in half every 24 years. The $29,600 that a retiree receives in 2045 will buy approximately what $15,000 buys today. The salary path, followed faithfully and without deviation, produces a retirement that requires significant external assets to supplement. Those assets, for most workers, either do not exist or are not large enough to close the gap. What actually builds wealth? The institutions that manage generational wealth, university endowments, sovereign wealth funds, family offices, do not rely on income, they rely on returns. The Yale Endowment does not receive a salary. It owns assets that generate returns, which are then reinvested to generate larger returns. Wealthy individuals follow the same logic. Jeff Bezos' salary from Amazon was $81,840 for years, a figure that had no meaningful relationship to his net worth. His wealth was entirely a function of asset ownership. The salary is a starting point. It is the capital that, if redirected correctly, becomes the first asset. But the salary itself is not the vehicle. It is the fuel for a vehicle you have to build separately. Understanding that distinction is the difference between a career and a financial strategy. Like and subscribe for more financial breakdowns that change how you see the economy. Drop a comment. At what age did you first realize the salary path had a ceiling? Thanks for watching.